Hey guys, welcome to another video. So as many of you know, I've been using the Moto G here kind of every day when I can use it, and it's proven to me to be a fantastic device. But how does it match up against a powerhouse device? And I say powerhouse because this is about in the same category here of devices like the BLU Life Play. So let's give you the rundown. So first over here you've got a device that has a 4.5 inch display, and this one has a 4.7 inch display. This one here, it weighs in at about 143 grams, and this one is 125 grams. And I'm pointing out these factors because this might play a part for some people when they're purchasing a phone, because they're picking it up and testing it out. Alright, so let's get into the main things here. The display on these are both 720 displays, but this one has a resolution a little bit higher at 326. Motorola rates it at 329. It doesn't matter, it's still a little bit higher than the Life Play at 312. So let's get into the main features here. I'm going to go over 7 things about these devices, and I'm keeping it very short because this could go on and on and on, and I know how battles get for phones. So first, let's look at the competitor, which it actually is the Moto G. The Moto G has a nice front-facing camera that shoots 720p, and the rear camera also shoots 720p. The design of this device feels very comfortable in the hand. It tapers off to a 6mm edge, but it's actually 11.6 millimeters in thickness. Now that doesn't mean anything at all, but just it gives some feel to the device when you're holding it in your hand. It feels great that you're holding something. The size of it is just a little bit smaller in height than the BLU Life Play, so obviously this is a lot easier to throw into a pocket or put in places that the BLU Life Play just might edge out a little bit, like your back pocket or something when you're sitting down. More on the design, you've got the power button and home button on this side, headphone jack up top, microphone up there for noise cancellation, microphone here. You've got a nice soft touch back, very loud speaker that I didn't cover in the full review of this device. But overall, this is a great looking device, feels great in the hand. Now, the BLU Life Play obviously has a better feeling matte. These both have matte, but the BLU Life Play packs a better feeling matte back cover. The speaker on the BLU Life Play is extremely loud. It also has a front-facing camera, but it's not as clear as the Moto G. But the BLU Life Play is very thin, easy to hold in the hand. It goes into any pocket just like the Moto G. But the BLU Life Play is a little flatter and wider. Thickness, obviously this is a 7.9mm device, and this is actually an 11.6mm device, so 12mm that tapers to 6mm, but still the Life Play is obviously thinner. It feels good in the hand. After holding this device for so long, this kind of feels great. This feels long, believe it or not. It's weird, but if I had to say which one felt better in the hand, I would say the Moto G feels, a lot better in the hand to hold over time. And as far as design goes, I think the design of the BLU Life Play kind of upstages the Moto G based on today's standards, because people want thin phones, and the Moto G is a little on the heavier side, but to me it really doesn't matter. So as far as design goes, they both have great designs, but the Moto G does have a smaller display, and it is a little bit thicker. The Life Play kind of gets the edge on that. Now, as far as features and options go, this gets into removable batteries and things like that, expandable storage. Alright, so feature-wise, this only packs a 5-megapixel camera with the LED flash, and this packs an 8-megapixel with the LED flash. But those are just numbers, because in actual real-world tests, and I don't want to make this very long, so I don't want to go into it, but the Moto G actually performed better on both cameras. I don't know what. Now, the Life Play has a great camera, but the Moto G camera far exceeds the cameras on the Life Play. But now, when you get into other details like this, they both have removable backs. Life Play, here we go. They both have removable backs, but in the Life Play, as you can see, I've got 2 SIM cards and an SD card slot, so, and a removable battery. So here's another area where it upstages the Moto G, because the Moto G you have a choice of 8 or 16, and that's it. So the Life Play here again, it outshines the Moto G in that respect. Features, like I said before, the Life Play offers a few more features than the Moto G, but the Moto G still holds its own. If the Moto G had a removable battery, and if it just had expandable storage, it would definitely be on the high side. But the Life Play actually can hold a 64 gig card, so that's good for the Life Play. So web browsing on both. I'm going to open up a web browser here. I should have it clear on both here, so I'm going to make sure. Yeah, there's lots of windows open on here. Closing them out on the, yeah, she's got a lot of windows open here. Wow, the Life Play has like 15 windows open. My little girl's been watching all kind of videos and girly stuff. Sorry guys, I'm closing these out here. Alright, so now they're both clear, and we're going to go to Google since this opened up on Google. I'm just going to go to google.com, and I'm going to put in something and show you the web browsing on both. And I'm going to jump back to within the features here. This is running 4.4 already, and this is still on 4.2. Don't know when they're going to update this, and that's a huge drawback for a lot of people. But this is pretty much stock Android for the most part. But you know, it's on the older version of Android. I do have both of these on auto bright, so if you're thinking one is more dull than the other, that's all it is. All right, so let's type in Life Play. Let's go to BLU Life Play actually. Having some problems. I'm going to search that. I'm going to search that on there. Another thing to point out here is that the Moto G is just a 3G device, and the Life Play is actually a 4G device. Now the BLU Life Play does get HSPA plus 42, and the Moto G is just HSPA plus 21. So web surfing on here definitely is completely different than the Moto G. The Moto G it does great for web surfing, but at the same time it's extremely slow. Now streaming videos and things like that, again, just having a 3G device, that's going to be the difference. So even though the Moto G started afterwards, it still finished before the Life Play, and that kind of goes into the processing power. And I didn't get much into the processing power because some of the average users don't care about that. Now these are on auto bright, and the BLU Life Play really has a strong sensor, and it's really kicking it up a notch. Here comes the There we go. Here comes the Moto G. It's kicking in. Okay, so processing power on these. Most average users don't care about the processing power. They go into a store, they look at a phone, and they like what they see. They play with it. They buy it. But processing power on the Moto G definitely outshines the BLU Life Play. It does have the newer quad-core processor, and it's a Snapdragon, and this is a MediaTek. So processing the information appears to be faster on the Moto G, but the BLU Life Play has faster internet connections, and you'll see every now and then it switches to an H up there because it's going into 4G mode, HSPA plus. So I'm going to click on a link here, and these are both running on T-Mobile's network, so you can see real-world tests here of web browsing. They both have a full signal. This is just 3G for T-Mobile, and this is 4G for T-Mobile. And you can see how they're rendering the pages and everything and how it looks. So don't be swayed by one being darker than the other, because again, these are on auto bright. I don't want to turn them on lower brighting or settings or whatever. I want you to because this is how most people keep their phones. They keep them on auto bright, or they keep it down to the lowest brightness setting. Both displays are fantastic. And speaking of displays, I'll go ahead and tell you which kind they have. The Moto G actually has the better display because it has an IPS LCD capacitive display, and it actually has Gorilla Glass 3. The Life Play doesn't have any kind of protective coating on there, but it also is a LED backlit display. So the Moto G actually has the better display. And in this video, you might be thinking, wow, well, the Blue Light Play looks a lot brighter. In real world testing, you know, you're watching it on video, so it's going to come across how it comes across. But I can guarantee you that the Life Play has a great display, and so does the Moto G. So as you saw there, web browsing, it appeared that, you know, the Moto G is, even though it's on 3G, it's still able to pull through web browsing pretty quickly. So let's go here. And I did click on both of these at the same time. Let's see if I actually clicked it on here. Let's click it. Oh, I guess it didn't hit. Okay, we'll click on another link here in a second for both. So because you can see here, this is a 3G device and this is a 4G device, and they're still kind of rendering the pages at about the same rate. The Moto G falls behind on heavier renderings, and you know, back and forth with these. But the Life Play finished that time, so we're going to click on, I'm going to stop this and click on a link here at the top. Oh, I guess it opened it in a separate window here. We don't want to do that. Let's go. The touch sensitiveness of the Moto G is very sensitive, and the Blue Light Play isn't as sensitive when touching it. But I was able to get them first that time. So this is loading in the full blog, and you can see how it's rendering on both devices. So the Blue Light Play has a quad-core processor, but again, it's a MediaTek, but it's a 4G device, and this has the faster processor, but it's a 3G device. So these kind of balance each other right on out. You can kind of see how they're rendering these pages. The Blue Light Play is struggling a little bit, but it still has a 4G signal. The Moto G, on the other hand, is a 3G signal, and it pretty much has the page loaded, and it is loaded. So the Moto G finished first, even though it's on 3G. The Life Play is still loading. So this is where you kind of gotta decide, you know, hey, do you do a lot of web browsing on your phone, you know? And the Moto G is very fluid, as you can see. But it was able to render the page, and the Life Play is still going. So we're going to move on here. You can kind of see what the web browsing is like on both devices. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this because this might be a while for the Life Play. Alright, so let's get out of there and let's go into camera settings. Camera is, because I want to get through this video, the camera, where's my camera? There it is. The camera on both of these, now I'm not going to take videos and shoot pictures, but I can tell you the settings for the Moto G, this is a much more advanced camera than the one on the Life Play, and I think that's because of the company itself. This is a Google product, and BLU is a new company coming up, and I support BLU. I love BLU products, but not to dive too deep into these two phones, but the Moto G, like I said before, even though it has a 5 megapixel and a 1.3 on the front, and the BLU has a higher camera resolution, it's got an 8 and a 2, I believe, the Moto G still outperforms the Blue Light Play in every area. I'm not gonna put any videos up because it's just gonna, you just have to take my word for it, or go ahead and purchase both of these devices. They're priced very well. But the camera on the Moto G far exceeds the camera on the Blue Light Play. So, you know, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. I can't resist. So we're going to take a photo of something here. All right, let's get, so I got a can of Pepsi 1 here. I'm going to take this photo. All right. So there's the picture. Now remember these are on auto bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and brighten these up. Life won't even take the picture. Oh, my little girl's storage is full. Well, nonetheless, the Moto G, I can tell you, definitely outperforms. How can a little girl fill up storage like that? But as far as the cameras go, the Moto G definitely outperforms the Life Play in camera area. So, sorry for that huge fail there, but I didn't think she had run out of memory. Good Lord, how could she run out of memory? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a speed test. So we just showed you how the web browsers were. I got to get through this video because I'm at 15 minutes. So I'm going to run a speed test separately and show you the speeds over T-Mobile's 3G network on the Moto G and then the 4G for the Life Play. The Moto G has just horrendous speeds, but you know, we're going to go ahead and make sure these are on the same server too, which is Houston. It's running on T-Mobile's Houston network. So here's T-Mobile Houston, and you can see the speeds there that I got. And now I'm going to go ahead and run this through for the Life Play if the Moto G can actually make it, and it looks like it did. Alright, so, and this proves nothing, but I just wanted to give you a speed test to show you the processing power of both phones. They have different processors inside, but one's 3G and one's 4G. And the Life Play is really struggling here. I don't think it's going to make it. Wow. So I won't even embarrass it anymore. Let's go on. Let's go ahead and close out of here because the Life Play is obviously having some issues there. But nonetheless, the Life Play is a fast device when it comes to the speed tests. The network speeds are really good. So moving on to the last thing I want to cover. I've already covered the software. This is running 4.4. This is on 4.2. Battery. Here's where the Moto G outperforms the Life Play by a long shot. This has a removable battery in it. Oh, that's Google. Google is starting up on Moto G, sorry. This has a removable battery, and it has, I believe it's an 1800. I think it's 18. Yeah, 1800. And this has a 2070. Now that little bit helps, but the fact that this is a 3G device and it has a large battery in it, this battery can last most people probably a very moderate use. You can probably get 5 days out of this battery. You can't do that with the Life Play. Me, the heavy user that I am, I get 2 days out of this. The Life Play, when I was using, I've obviously passed this on to a little one in the house, but the battery on this needs to be charged several times a day. You can charge this once and it'll take you into the next day. So, final thoughts on here. This is more lengthy than I wanted it to be, but final thoughts on here. Which one of these is the better device? This costs $180. This costs pretty much average at $200 or $205. Removable battery, removable storage, none of that over here. Which one should you get? The Life Play is a powerhouse, but the Moto G outperforms it in a lot of areas. So which one do I like better? Well, obviously I like them both. But when it just comes to my surprise to raw usage of the devices, the Life Play is still a powerhouse device, but the Moto G definitely outshines it in the price point and several other features. It's running KitKat already, 4.4. It's got a better camera. It has a faster processor. The design is nice on here. The speaker is really loud. The price point is great. The battery, the software, the camera. It's just a lot of things that I like about the Moto G. Even though it doesn't have removable storage, everything's in the cloud. Which one of these do I like better? Gotta go with the Moto G. I'll see you guys in the next video.